Alright guys, welcome back to Absurd Automotive. Last video we had our 1968 Mustang running and driving. Thankfully, the transmission's good. The low fluid theory is most likely correct. It's got a little bit of kinks in it. We'll work them all out. It's not a problem. But I got a treat for y'all today. These have traveled 4,000 miles in 2 days. These got 2-day aired up to Alaska from Western New York, where I'm from actually. Cheektowaga, New York is where these things are from. Lead Brakes provided us with an entire kit. Well, I bought them. Don't think them sponsored. I'm not sponsored. I don't know anybody at this company. I've never heard of this company until I went on Amazon and I found them. And I looked through everything to make sure they were a reputable company because they didn't have any reviews on Amazon. But they had really good reviews on Summit and CJ Pony, and I think this whole kit will work for me flawlessly. We're gonna see. I want to give them a good review. It's really cool that it came from my home state and like home side of my state, because New York does a lot of stuff, but Western New York holds a place in my heart just because it's where I grew up, and there's a lot of cool stuff there, like the Bills. Go Bills. And yeah. And it's cool because I'm in Alaska. I'm in the like interior of Alaska, North Pole, Fairbanks, Alaska area, and I now have parts in 2 days. This is the fastest I've ever got parts, by the way, and it didn't break the bank. I only spent like, I think it was like $1,300 for everything, shipping and all the parts. That's really not that bad for a kit. I mean, I know guys that are spending the Willwood brakes, and those things are costing them $1,000 just for the brake calipers, the rotors, and the brakes themselves. That's ridiculous. I bought an entire conversion kit for power and disc brake for the 68, and it was only like $1,300. And I don't really count shipping because Alaska is ridiculous with all its shipping costs. But thankfully, it was on Amazon and it was super cheap for me. So, Lead Brakes, thank you for having these on Amazon. It saved me a lot of money, and I am happy to purchase these and happy to test them and happy to give them a review. And if you guys want to sponsor me, I would love it. I'll put your guys' name right in the side of the car if you guys really want to. But yeah, we're gonna get started. We're gonna pull off all our old brakes. We gotta fix the back brakes because the back brakes are good. We just need to fix the lines and the actuators on the top of the drums. They're just really old and I want new ones in there. But all the mechanical parts like the springs and the drums and the shoes themselves are all good. So, a lot to do, but hopefully this thing will be running, driving, and stopping all today. Full kit is unboxed. Everything we need is here, thankfully, and we have a nice thick packet of directions on how to put everything together properly so we're not breaking anything. I am already very impressed with this kit. I really like it. These are all the disc brakes, our calipers, brakes, like, I don't know what those are. I don't know, something. I think those are like the adapters maybe. And then our backing and all of our, they even have new hubs and everything, like our new grease caps and everything. They even have brand new grease caps, so I'm gonna use the old ones. They got everything. This is really nice. And our power brake setup with our brand new pedal and everything. This is super nice. I'm really excited about all of this. Well, I'm gonna get it together. I probably won't film this whole thing, but this is gonna take me a while to read through directions and get all this. My phone's gonna die, so, but yeah, you guys get the point. We're gonna take all the old stuff off, put all the new stuff on, and it should look pretty. All right, our lead brake kit is actually turning out really nice. Everything's fitting up flawlessly. Nothing's giving me a hard time. Everything's been really easy on install. Taking stuff out, you're always gonna deal with rusty bolts and things breaking, but that's okay. I got all the bad parts removed from this side of the car at least, and our new one's installed. We're gonna put the tire on and see if everything fits and make sure everything functions. I have all the old master cylinder out, so we're ready to put in the new fancy power brakes, and then I got the pedal in there too. So I'm gonna get the tire on, we'll start working on that side, and then we'll put in our power system. So before I put on the brand new disc rotor setup on this side, I wanna scuff all this orange stuff and paint it, and scuff the firewall and some other parts over here where that brake booster is gonna be. That way the engine bay looks a little better, and if I go, I don't wanna go back, so, and like take parts back out. So I'm gonna paint that real quick and paint this over here, and then I'll install the new fancy parts, and I won't have to go back and paint that later. It will be done with a rattle can, but everything that you're seeing is gonna be either under the hood or under a fender, and it's just gonna be black, and you're not gonna really tell anyways. So that'll look all black, and then our nice new shiny parts won't look as bad with this really ratty primer that he has on here. Alright, it's been a long night. I got all the brakes done. The brake booster and the firewall like situation kind of kicked my butt. Being underneath the dash just took me forever. So, as of right now, all we gotta do is bleed the brakes and put some automatic transmission fluid in this thing, and it should be running, driving, and stopping under its own power for the first time in 31 years. That's insane. 3 decades this car has not been running and driving on the road, and I finally get to bring this thing back to life. That is 6 years before I was even born. That is insane. This car has not ran and drove on the road in 3 decades, and I get to change that. That is insane. My first ever 60s muscle car, thankfully, is a V8. I didn't have to swap it or anything crazy with it. And I get to resurrect this absolute piece of history. Because this thing's been Alaska its entire life. Like Anchorage, Alaska area. That's where it's been its entire life. It was manufactured in California, brought up, and it's been sitting here in Alaska ever since. This thing really wasn't driven that much. If you think about it, it's got just under 100,000 miles in the car. And it's in pretty good shape. I mean, the motor, like we said, we went through it. It looks good. It's not too shabby. It's got a little bit of a rich run to it, but not bad. The transmission still works. So this car is in pretty good condition for where it's been its whole life and how much it's been driven. So tomorrow we should have this running and driving, but tonight it's a little too late to keep working on the car, and I don't have an extra hand because I need an extra hand to bleed the brakes. So I think we're just going to call it quits for tonight, and I'll get back to this tomorrow morning and hopefully resurrect Sally B to be running, driving, and stopping under her own power for the first time in 31 freaking years. Dude, this is insane. I'm so proud I can share this with you guys, and my first ever Mustang, my first ever 60s muscle car is from Alaska. That's so cool. It's super cool. All right, today is the day. I'm so excited to say that Sally B should be running, driving, and stopping under her own power today. I've already got the back brake cylinders all set up. I gotta bleed the system. I just bench bled the master cylinder. So now all I should have to do is install the master cylinder, bleed the system a couple times through, and then everything should function. And then we'll mess with the transmission, we'll put some more fluid in it and everything, and then this thing should be driving under its own power. It is looking like it's gonna rain, so we might not be able to drive it today, but I'm hopeful the weather clears up and we get to drive this thing around today. All right, so me and my wife just bled the brakes on Sally B. Sadly, I won't be taking it out because the rain did catch us, and I don't feel like trying to wipe down the entire car again like I did yesterday. It's not a whole bunch of fun, but The brakes are completely together. Brake booster, disc brakes, and the drum brakes in the back all work. They're all together, they're all on the car, and I am really, really excited to get this thing running, driving, and stopping under its own power. All right, so since we don't get to drive the car today, I figured I'd just kind of give somewhat of a review of the install of lead brakes kit that they had. I'm pretty impressed with it. I mean, I really like that they gave you every single part you would need to put power brakes to the car, and it all fit up to the original brake lines. So you don't have to run new lines or anything like that. If you have a drum brake Mustang, they have a couple different kits, you know, a manual one, an automatic one, original power brakes, original manual brakes, 2 power brakes, and that's what I got. I got a automatic V8 car with the 5-lug 14-inch rim setup because I only have 14-inch rims and I didn't feel like buying new ones. So thankfully their kit had a 14-inch disc brake setup that fit inside that tire, which I'm really impressed with because a lot of people didn't have that. And then the power brake setup was super easy to install. The firewall just needed to be a couple holes and it needed to be cut a little bit from the manual brakes, and then it was a super easy bench bleeder kit that they gave me for the master cylinder, and then the installation of our new pedal. Everything was and is super nice. I mean, for only like, I think it was $1,200 for the full kit and everything bolted into the original brake lines. I mean, even here, they bolted into the original distribution block, and they gave us a valve for the back brakes. That way you can control how much pressure is going to the back of the car, so you're not locking them up, or you know, you're not underusing them either. So you can kind of adjust it, and it's really nice. I'm really impressed with the installation. I haven't driven the car yet or used the brakes yet, but I can't really beat on them too hard because I have about 150 to a 200 mile break-in. I have done this to complete spec. I went through the directions, which are very nice, clear, and direct. Very easy to navigate those. And I torqued everything to spec. I did everything how I was supposed to do it. And I am very impressed with how easy this was to install and how nice the directions were. These were super, super helpful and super nice. I actually learned some stuff from those. I mean, like I said, they gave me a kit for everything and anything you can think of. And I did this all with very basic tools. So installation wise, I think that was very easy. I really liked it. I highly recommend it so far. Like I said, I haven't driven the car yet, but I also don't have a drum brake setup to compare because we didn't put drums in the car, which is kind of what I wanted to start with, the basics, you know, so I can kind of compare like how much we're upgrading the car. But obviously we didn't get that chance, and we just went straight to power brakes and disc brakes because safety is nothing to joke about. But lead brakes, thank you for shipping these things 4,000 miles for me, and they look really good on my car. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the next part way more, which is the actual driving of my 1968 Ford Mustang for the first time in 31 years. All right, so I got lucky. The day turned pretty nice. No more rain. So we are gonna run the Mustang today, and it's not too late. It's only like 5 o'clock. So still got some time before the neighbors get a little upset. This thing is pretty loud. So I did actually get some time while it was raining to hook up my power steering. So I hooked up the belt and everything, got everything hooked up, and ran the lines and everything. I have little confidence that this is going to work. The power steering pump, when I was rotating it, just sounded like it was screaming for its life. So I haven't even turned this thing on yet, but if there's a crazy screaming noise, I imagine it's probably going to be the power steering. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to slap the rims back on this thing, tighten everything up, get it off jack stands, and I'm going to bring this thing outside and drive and run this thing. And I'm so freaking excited, dude. This is going to be so epic. For the first time in 31 years, this car is going to be running, driving, and stopping under its own power. I am so freaking stoked about this, man. It is going to be So awesome. And I get to test all of my brakes, which is my lead brakes that came in, and I get to test all of the other components that I've added onto the car finally. And I am gonna test the transmission to see if that is truly giving me a hard time with low fluid or it is broken. I think it's just low fluid. So we get to test that today too. And safely, because you know, we actually have brakes and I'm not putting it on a jack stand with this. So I am super excited. Let's get this thing out of the garage and test this thing out. All right, here we go. After 31 years, we're finally bringing this Mustang back to life. This is it. Try this again. All right, Sally B runs and drives. After 31 years, the 68 Mustang is alive again. This thing is super scary to drive, but you know, there's no seat, no doors, no seat belts, nothing. That was pretty scary to drive that thing. I actually drove it around like 4 and 5 times-ish, but the camera cut short. I was too busy trying to pay attention to the car. So sadly, I did not get to get all of that on film, but the car held together. The brakes worked flawlessly. Those are really good brakes. I really like them. The booster is not working great, but the motor's also not running great. So that might just be because the motor's sputtering and everything. But regardless, the brakes are working awesome on the car. I barely had to push that pedal when it was revving correctly, and everything was working awesome. So yeah, everything's good. The car actually did really good. I'm really excited. I'm gonna start it up and park it in the garage right now. And next video, all we're gonna do is get this thing looking pretty. That's our whole goal. We're gonna start putting the panels on. We're gonna get this car complete, get all the lights in there, and put her back to being an actual car. That way I can get some registration stuff figured out, and then after that, we're gonna paint it. Bodywork and paint's that. So there should be 2 more videos of building the car, which is going to be getting the panels back on and then painting the car. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been awesome reviving this car. I am very excited to show you guys what I have for a paint scheme, and it's going to be absolutely epic.